Tonight, Roger Godfrey, an icon in the food industry, will be the 9th member to be inducted and will join the other esteemed individuals of the Hawaii Food Industry Association's Hall of Fame.
You know, when I was thinking about what I would say about Roger Godfrey, the first thing that came to my mind was, you know, what happened, what influences, and what were my experiences with Roger when I first met him. And I think, to sum it up, when you first meet Roger, he's a person that you immediately like, very easy to get along with, very personable guy, very intelligent, very smart.
In addition to being a very successful businessman, Roger was really an ultimate nice guy. He was a true gentleman. I never saw Roger lose his composure. I never saw him get angry. And it made me realize that nice guys don't necessarily finish last, because Roger was truly a nice guy.
Roger was running the largest grocery wholesaler in Hawaii, and I went with my dad to a meeting with Roger in his office. And during the meeting, I watched how Roger listened and responded to my dad's concerns and shared his knowledge and suggestions with genuine care. We didn't own a chain of stores, but he respected us as though we did.
Accomplished and well respected by his peers, Roger remains grounded, down to earth, and a true gentleman. Some might say that Roger Godfrey was born into the food industry. The Godfrey family owned wholesale and retail food markets, 5 generations worth in the Wisconsin area. At age 15, Roger began working in the produce warehouse of Century Markets, a supermarket chain owned by the Godfrey Company. After high school, he went on to the University of Wisconsin, and in 1955 graduated with a bachelor's degree of business administration in finance and marketing. After college, Roger joined the Army, and by the time of his discharge had risen to Chief of the Accounting Division in Europe for the U.S. Army Finance Corps. He then went on to earn his MBA from Stanford University in 1958. Later that year, he started working at Lucky Stores in San Leandro, California, and became department manager before heading back to Wisconsin in 1960 to become the store manager at the Godfrey Company's Century Markets in Waukesha. Roger had an opportunity to purchase a single grocery store from bankruptcy court in California and opened it in 1964. In 2 years, he turned the store into a profitable operation with $2.5 million in sales. Over the next 10 years, Roger acquired other supermarkets from the Bay Area to San Jose and built a 10-store chain named Key Markets, a $25 million operation with about 250 employees. After Key Markets was sold in 1973, he was offered a job with Certified Corporation. A year later, Certified asked him to move to Hawaii as retail service manager to increase the sales volume. The plan was to stay for 2 years, but like many, he really liked it here and stayed. Roger eventually became Certified's Executive Vice President and General Manager in Hawaii, and sales volume increased by 60% and profitability by 500%. After Certified closed operations in 1985, Roger was offered the job as Director of Distribution at Foodland Supermarket's warehouse in Kalihi. There, he initiated labor-saving systems and productivity methods that reduce costs. But after just a year with Foodland, Fleming companies would cut a deal to purchase Foodland's distribution center, and Foodland would in turn buy their food from Fleming. Roger was asked to stay for a year to see the transition through, just to get things off the ground and running smoothly. Gross sales grew from $70 million to over $300 million annually. In 1977, Roger received the Chairman's Award, Fleming's highest honor, for outstanding management of the best division of Fleming companies. In 2000, he retired as division president. Soon after his retirement, Roger was approached by Taruya family, owners of Times Supermarkets, to see if he would be interested in buying Times. Due diligence prevailed, and Roger became president of Times in 2002 and agreed to stay for a term of 5 years. Under Godfrey's leadership, Times developed a 5-point strategy for success. By the time Roger retired from Times, at the end of his 5-year term in 2007, sales had increased by 40%, and the company had returned to profitability and a strong balance sheet. Throughout his career, Roger has been very active in the Hawaii Food Industry Association. serving as chairman of the board in 1996. And when asked to reflect back on his most memorable career moments, Roger says it's the 1964 opening of his first supermarket and his 1974 move to Hawaii. Today, although he's retired a few times in his career, he still loves being part of the game and remains active in business with investments in a couple of small businesses, working to help them grow and prosper. He also serves on the board of directors of the Hawaii Food Bank and the Hawaii Public Housing Authority and the executive committee for the Hawaii Sheraton Bowl. What inspires Roger Godfrey? People who are risk takers. Those who have vision and ideas outside the normal and ordinary, he says. Tonight, we congratulate you, Roger, and warmly welcome you into the Hawaii Food Industry Association's Hall of Fame.
We are very fortunate to have had Roger helping shape the food business in Hawaii. His knowledge, his dedication, his sincerity, and his passion for our industry has touched most, if not all of us in some way.
He looks at failures as a stumbling block to be overcome along his journey. And he's had a terrific journey, and all I can say is congratulations, Roger. This is a well-deserved tribute to you and obviously to your family and to Signe.
I want to congratulate Roger and Signe on this award, and I want to thank them both for their friendship. This award is well-deserved, and it couldn't happen to a better individual.